about the dress. Let me know what you think about the tutorial video. Was it helpful? Do you think you can recreate that? Let me know on the comment section. I always want to hear from you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for everything. Please give the video a thumbs up so that more people can get to see. My name still remains Igwe Chidema, and I'm your yoga fashion lady. If this is your first time, you are very welcome. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can join the family. I love you so much. You know this? Okay, before we go, right? This is actually a very simple dress, right? I'm just coming back from church now. That's why I'm like this. You can wear it to church, you can wear it to work, you can wear it anywhere at all. It's just a casual dress that you can wear just like that. Anywhere. So you can actually recreate this. Let me know if it was helpful. And I will see you in my next video. Now we can say bye. I didn't mean to say bye. I meant let's go and start the video. Yeah, let's go. Right now, so I'm going to start with my shoulder measurement, and since this dress is going to be an off shoulder, I'm going to remove like 5 inches from above, then get my full length. That's the full length of this dress. So that was just what I did. So I'm going to take my shoulder measurement still, and my shoulder is 7.5 inches. I just marked it here. So still taking 5 inches off from the above, I take my bust measurement. That's the bust point. I took the bust point measurement, and then I'm coming down here by 13 to take my under bust, then my half length, and then the full length of the dress. That's what I just marked here. So since this dress is having a zipper in the front, so I'm going to take 2 inches all the way down for the zipper allowance. So that is what I'm marking here. I marked 2 inches from up to down to bottom, so I connected it with my ruler. So now I'm going to retake that shoulder measurement I made before, that is from this zipper line. So that zipper allowance I took 7.5 inches. So coming down again, it's more like I'm retaking all the measurements all over again. But I shouldn't have done that anyways, because the point is still the same, because I haven't taken the vertical measurement. So like I just took my bust point on the bust, half length, and then I'm connecting it now. So after connecting everything, I went up by 2 inches to serve as my chest line. So that's what I did here. From my bust point, I went up by 2 inches as my chest line. So I connected it to that shoulder point, and I'm marking my armhole curve here. And so here for my half length, sorry, I'm marking 4 inches. That is for the bust span. That's nipple to nipple. So I marked it here, and I'm connecting it from my half length to my under bust, and I'm going to connect it all the way to the chest line, which is what I just did now. Then I'll place my tape on this half length and mark 1 inch on, and mark 2 inches, sorry, 2 inches on that part, and then 2 inches on my under bust. 2 inches on the half length, 2 inches on the under bust, and I'm connecting it like so. And then with my curve rule, I'm going to curve it into my bust point. So here what I'm doing, I'm extending that line, that's the 4 inches I marked. I'm extending it to the starting line up above where I marked my shoulder. So that is just what I did here. And then on the other side, I'm going to go in. I will come out by 2 inches. So I'm going to come back 2 inches, and I'm connecting it also with my curve rule, curving it into my bust point. Then after the curve, I'm using my hand to blend it into the armhole, just like so. Then from the other side, I'm going to curve it to meet the chest line on the other side. Please, I made a mistake here. Do not curve into the zipper allowance. Don't curve it into the zipper allowance. Please stop at the zipper allowance. Just stop on the zipper allowance. That line I marked, that 2 inches I marked. Don't make your curve to enter inside. Okay, I hope you understand. Then what I want to do here now is to take my measurement now. So the bust I'm working with is 35 divided by 4 will give us 8.75. I marked it and then added 2 inches allowance. Remember, you're going to be placing your tape on the 2 inches line you marked, not at the other side. Don't put your tape to pass the line. So I just marked here my waistline, and then the 2 inches for the dart, I replaced it on the other side and still added my 2 inches allowance. Then for this down part, I'm going to use my hip measurement for it. I measured my hip and then added 2 inches, and that's it. So to get the dart down, I used my ruler to extend the lines to the full length of the top. So right here, to cut the back part, I just placed my front on the fabric that I want to use and cut the back. And as you can see, I'm not putting any allowance since we already any zipper allowance since we already have a we are going to be putting our zip in front, so I already did that there. So all I had to do was to close up my that allowance, and then I also folded that zipper allowance at the top. So I folded the zipper allowance and closed up the dart. So I'm just cutting everything the same for the back part. So I folded the zipper part of the front part, so I placed it on this other side to cut my back. So now for my back neckline, I want it to be round. So I just placed my, I didn't actually measure it. I just used my curve rule to place my, to curve it into the armhole. So that's what I just did here. So this is it. So if you remember, the top has a little basque effect in front. So that's what I want to do here. So still covering up that line, right? So I'm going to go up by 3 inches, and then I'll use my ruler to connect it to the tip, the other side. So I went up by 3 inches from the armhole area, the armhole side, went up by 3 inches, and then I connected it to the tip of the zipper allowance. So it gave it that little basque effect in front. So for this back part, I'm going up here by 3 inches. Remember, for the front, I went up by 3 inches before my basque so that everything will be equal. This is not going to have any basque, so I'm going to cut it straight. So here is my sleeve. I've cut the first one. I've placed it to cut my second one. So to show you what I have here, the length is 24.5 and the width is 11 inches. So if you open that, if you open the sleeve, it's going to give you 22. So this is now your choice, how puffy you want yours to be, how the length that is going to be. So that will help you determine your sleeve. So after cutting it, I placed my one of my bustier on the top of the sleeve to cut the armhole out. So that is what I just did here. So this up part and the down part will have elastic on it. So I'll stitch this and then do the same thing on the down part where the elastic will be. So here, to determine the length of the elastic I will use, I measured my wrist round, the round of my wrist, and then I used that to measure the length of my elastic. So after that, I put it on a safety pin, and then I'm going to push it round the opening that I've made after my stitching. Remember, if you're folding where your elastic is going to be, you're going to leave a small opening. You don't go stitching up everything. You leave out some opening where your elastic can pass through. So after you must have finished putting the elastic, then you can now close up the opening. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm closing up the opening. So that is what I did on my shoulder part as well. So I cut the elastic and put there as well. So for this bust part, I used a wadding for it. So after everything, putting the lining, I'm putting the zipper now. So for you as a beginner, if you still find it difficult to put your zipper, just look at what I'm doing. I know putting zip is one of the most difficult things when it comes to sewing, and especially for me. I'm talking from my partner, from experience. So what I did here is just to first of all measure how many inches I removed while I was cutting the clothes. That was when I was cutting the clothes, I removed to 2 inches, but then I marked 1.5 inches here, and because I've removed from my sewing, some inches has left. So that's what I did here, and I just placed my zipper, and the zipper is longer than this top, so that is why I marked that upper part, if you notice. So this is the second part. I also measured to 1.5 inches also on the dress, so that it will be equal, and then I'm placing my zip after attaching the other side. So I'm repeating the same thing on this other side. If you do it like this, marking it using your pin, I bet you it will not be difficult for you, because for me right now, putting zipper on my dress is one of the easiest and sweetest thing for me to do because of this trick I learned. So always mark with your chalk and then just use your pin and hold everything. So after joining, this is it, and I'm going to cut off this excess parts. Just look at what I'm doing. I'm going to fold this part inside. That's when I must have cut it, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it now. So this side I left will be going inside here, so I will pin it also, then stitch it. So after I'm done tacking that in, or tucking it in, I don't know. So when I'm done with the stitching, then I will repeat the same thing, the same process on the other side. So when I'm done with all of that, I'm going to go ahead and then shape it with the back part. I will join the back part and then shape it, and also attach my sleeve, and then that will be all for this tutorial, for this video. So if you have watched this video to this part, you are, in fact, I appreciate you. Yeah, that's the word. I appreciate you. Please don't leave without subscribing and leaving a thumbs up for us. So this is how it look. We are all done here. But that will be after we have joined and shape it. For the down part, I'll use a hem gum. Thank you for watching.